close that is.
A little bit close?
A little bit close. That's a little bit close that
I
is.
was trying to give us a close-up angle.
He's trying to give us a close-up angle. I'm really not
I
down with
like
that.
it. I wanted to be right on the nose.
Hello. Hola. 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 Buenas tardes.
Ah, there we go.
Depending where
All
you are.
set.
Hello.
Indeed. There's
Getting set up. We thought we'd bring you outside. We are doing our we're house sitting, our favourite location, as you can see, the back garden here, and we thought we'd bring you out for this. For those in North America, this is a holiday weekend of sorts.
4th of July.
4th of July. Let's sit back.
Independence.
Chill. Independence. Anyway, it's Sunday, and it's the first Sunday. So, introductions. I'm Sheev.
And I'm Samaj.
So, if you haven't joined us before, we're doing the Sunday sit as a self-informed practice, a self-informed sitting with ourselves, so that we can get to know ourselves better. Because when we know ourselves better, then we're able to deal better. And when we can deal better, we feel better. And when we can feel better, we deal better. There's this whole little thing that goes on. But quite often we get a bit confused as to what makes us feel better, right? So we revert to these other things that we think are going to make us feel good, and they end up making us feel not so good in the long run. And then the things that might not feel so good, doing them make us feel good in the long run. Let's say cookies and workouts, right? So eating cookies, depending where you are in your journey, for me, that's like lovely to eat them and terrible afterwards. Working out, pretty terrible to do it, but wonderful afterwards. So you get to choose, right? But quite often it's we just don't know ourselves and we don't get time to pause. And then the other thing is we've got stress in our lives, and we don't get to pause so that we can get to know stress better.
Yeah.
Don't you want to get to know stress? Why would you want to get to know stress better?
Yeah, that's true. There are a few reasons why you would be. One, high blood pressure. None of us want that. What do we got? Obesity. You know, that's why we work out, to try to stay fit. Heart disease. Like, is that heart disease number one killer?
Yeah,
I mean,
it's a lot. And this is not medical advice, by the way.
Diabetes.
This is definitely not medical
and
advice.
No, we're not saying, yes, absolutely.
It's just that stress is related to, it's said to be related to up to 90% of disease and illness, that the root causes of those can be stress. Now, the thing about it is, stress isn't necessarily bad.
No, it's not.
Right?
No, it's not necessarily
Not all
bad.
stress is bad. We actually do need to stress. Going back to that workout, for example, what we do when we're working out, especially if we're doing weights,
stress those muscles.
Stress those muscles. I hope we are. I did do it this public as well, didn't I? I hope so. I'm not sure how to check.
I don't know if you can right now.
So I really hope that
We're live.
I had already set up the live this morning, and then it disappeared. So I had to just quickly fumble around and do it before we came out. So, yeah, hoping that it is.
Hopefully it's all good.
Yeah. Can you look at the channel, please?
I am in the channel.
No, you're in ours.
Right. You want me to get out of our channel?
Just go to YouTube to see if
Just go to YouTube. Okay.
Anyway.
All right.
So if we get to know, we only want to know which parts of stress are good for us and which parts of stress we want to take a pause from or a step back from, which stress we want to lean into and embrace, and then which stress we want to be able to manage and be aware of. Right? We're not going to get rid of it, but we might be able to relabel it, we might be able to reframe it, we might be able to step away from it, right? Take a pause. So that's what we're going to do.
I mean, I went to the Feel Better community. I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Okay, I'm not sure.
So we are doing the Sunday sit. It's all over the place this morning. What's going on?
I don't know.
See, this is what happens. We get all over the place, and when we come to sit down, we can get present with ourselves, right? We can get kind of, whew, because it can be all like this. So I think that's actually, even now, let's just do that just for a moment. Just plop your feet on the ground, like both of them. Feel that groundedness, right? Just a little bit of grounding for myself as well as maybe for you, but definitely. And then, there you go, sitting up. That's nice, isn't it? Sitting up nice and tall. Closing our eyes and taking an inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Taking another inhale as you're inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. Feeling the weight of your buttocks on your chair. Your feet planted on the ground. Do another inhale, one more. Feeling the breath coming in. Shoulders relaxing down away from the ears as you exhale. Now just breathing normally through the nose for a couple of breaths. Inhale the birds. Maybe you have ambient sounds around you as well. Relaxing into them, letting them be, and allowing yourself to be. And then we can open our eyes. Okay, I've arrived. I'm back here now.
I'm here as well.
I'm laughing because I look taller than you.
Because
I have a longer body and
Yeah.
he has longer legs. He's actually taller than me.
Yeah, right?
It's really weird because
Weird.
we're sitting on the same seats.
My torso's only this long.
And his legs are that long. He's the longest legged man in the world. Having said my coat, it's very warm here. Do you want water? Sounds like you do. So, anyway, back to stress and how we can manage that. We get so caught up that we don't even know how we feel. And so that's part of when we come to sit down, we kind of get confronted with how we feel. And we get to, if we can get more comfortable with that, get more comfortable with Katie.
Hey, Katie.
More comfortable with where we are and how it feels, then it won't feel so bad. It's kind of like, it's like working out. I'm going to keep using that because it's something that we're all very familiar with. That feeling when you're working out can be very messy, right? It can be very like, oh. And that can be what puts us off. But as we get used to it and realize that we'll get through that, that's part of it, we can lean into it a little bit more and cause less friction, because the more that we react to something and the more that we don't like it, we're causing more friction in something that's already friction.
Yep.
Right? So yeah. So yes, Katie, thank you. It is a beautiful setting. We are here at our house sit. A little pool to here. It's a small backyard, but it's very, very beautiful. Reminds me of the tropics. Southern California. Gotta love it for that.
Indeed.
So, and how are you doing, Katie? So good to see you. We're going to do a little sit today, and we'll sit in the garden.
Knock that stress right out of there.
Well, not necessarily even knock it out. You know, like that's what we want. We always want to get rid of it.
Well,
But
when it-
actually, we want to almost make friends with it, so that we can then understand it a little bit more, and learn when to lean into it, when it's going to help us. You know, bears chasing us, probably not going to happen, but it could, depending what you like. Or we have a deadline to do, or you know, something of that, or we're working out and we're going to put stress on the body because we need to stress it. Or is it that like the stress is just pressing us down and accumulating inside that we can't feel? And so if we can just learn to breathe through some of that, then we can help ourselves with our stress. I'm drinking some iced coffee. What are you drinking? You have water?
Yeah, right there.
So I think we can go into a little sit with the birds, the heat. So
Let's do it.
let's do it. So as we come seated, with our feet on the ground, preferably, although you could be laying down, sitting up tall in the spine, just because there's a feeling of giving ourselves some space in our body, right? So everything compacted, everything pressed in, that's a stressful. So just allowing a little rolling the shoulders back. Like how that feels, just rolling them back and down and away from the ear. Ooh, that's nice. In fact, let's just take one ear to the shoulder, roll the chin to the other shoulder. We'll do this 3 times. Chin to chest, back to the shoulder, and one more time. Back across, down, back. Beautiful. Let's just roll the shoulders. Back 3 times. Remember to breathe. And forward 3 times. In fact, let's take an arm up and over. And back down. Up and over. Create a little bit of space in that rib cage. Now,
And really reach.
reach.
Yeah, that's great.
Feels great. And now come with your hands however you like. I like mine just placed inside one another. My thumbs tend to touch, and then I just place it in my lap. I like that because it keeps my elbows out here, which keeps my shoulder, keeps me some space here. It's very easy to feel like this. We can sit kind of like that. Right? You've got them? I don't.
Shake them.
I don't have them. Anyway. And it's perfectly fine to laugh and to smile during a meditation, right? It doesn't have to be also somber. It's all about being present to ourselves and being our own present, right? So as you come seated, we're going to have planes going over. You might hear them. We're on a flight path. So again, we remind ourselves that it doesn't have to be quiet on the outside for us to find quiet on the inside. So it's good practice when we hear these external sounds for us not to get irritated by them. And then when life does slap us upside the head with something a little more serious than a plane going over, we've had a little bit of practice at sitting with the irritations, shall we say, right? So I hope the sound is okay. There we go. Let's do that again. Breathe in through the nose. Let's give a big kind of one more. Nice. Breathing normally. Nothing to do. Just check your breathing's going down into your belly and it's not sitting up in your chest. Allow it to go down. Eyes can be closed if that's comfortable for you, or gazing down at the ground, lowered eyelids. Starting to become aware of the breath just by telling yourself, I'm breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. You can use that as your anchor. Mind's going to wander. That's why we do this practice. And that's okay. We just gently bring it back. Breathing in, breathing out. As we start settling in, you might feel your chin soften a little towards the chest. check that the muscles on your face are nice and relaxed. Your shoulders down, away from the ears, slightly back, opening up the chest. A hint of a smile is nice. And we can use the mantra, breathing in, I am peace. Breathing out, I release. And you can even shorten that to breathing in, peace. Breathing out, release. This is just something to occupy our mind and anchor for it, a place for it to come back to. As we sit for the next couple of minutes, I'll talk much less and allow you to sit with yourself, to breath, breathing in peace and breathing out release. Chaos is outside of us and peace is within us. Sometimes we just need to tidy up so that we can see it. Ambient sounds out here are such wonderful practice to remind us that we're not in a cave. There is a world going on outside. There is always something going on outside. Perhaps it's never a good time to sit and do nothing, or, as it seems, do nothing. And yet this is the perfect time, especially when everything overwhelms. We don't know what to do, we don't know where to turn. Perhaps if we just sit for even 5 minutes, we might declutter a little bit of that chaos we've created inside so that we can find the peace that is always living there waiting for us. As we continue breathing, breathing in peace, breathing out release. And for the next 2 minutes, that's what we're going to do. Breathing in peace, breathing out release. Breath coming in and leaving. No judgment when your mind wanders. Gently bring it back by repeating to yourself. Breathing in peace, breathing out release. Perhaps noticing sounds feeling a little more vivid. body feeling a little calmer. Breathing in, breathing in a nice deep breath through the nose. Or just suspend the breath right here. 5, 4, 3, 2, and exhale through the mouth. And we can slowly flutter our eyelids open. Simple. Very, very simple. It can be quite profound as a practice. To just allow ourselves to find a place of calm and peace inside of chaos. We're going through a lot of chaos right now. I'm having to use my practice to remind myself to calm the senses. And the more we do it, that's why it's called a practice, the more practice we get, not at the actual sitting, that's the easy part for us, but actually getting to sit our asses down so that we can give our minds the pause that it needs. We oftentimes know that's what we could be doing. I won't say should, but that's something that helps, but it seems too simple. And it seems like we might not have time, and it seems like, or it can seem like it's not effective enough. But little is more effective, to be honest. So when we do get to sit with ourselves, and we get to know ourselves just that little bit better, well, that's the beautiful thing, because that's really what we're here for, I believe, is to know ourselves. And we're told so much by social media and marketing and everyone fucking else who we're supposed to be, what we're supposed to be, how we're supposed to feel, and quite often we can lose touch with that. And so the more we can bring ourselves back to ourselves, the more we can learn who we are right now, because who we are right now is not who we were a year ago, 5 years ago, and yet it also is. It's very peculiar, right? That center part of us is the same as who we were born, and yet when we go through our different seasons, we are confronted with different challenges, and we have to rely on the strengths that we've built, and we oftentimes can forget how strong we really are. We can forget how resilient we really are. We can forget that we have survived 100% of our hardest times. And I know that Katie, for example, I know you're a prime example, a super example of that in the world. And so it allows us to soften within ourselves, because we're our harshest critic, you know. So if that will make sense.
It does. Yeah. I mean, I feel even more different than 5 minutes ago.
This is possible. I mean, we're not the same because now we're not the same as 5 minutes ago, because we hadn't sat 5 minutes ago.
Absolutely.
See, so now we have that inside of us. We have it inside of our bones, inside of our being, and you can't take that out.
Now we can integrate it.
We can integrate it. It's very much like the labyrinth,
Indeed.
right?
Indeed.
So we'll be doing more of that. So I think that's really. Do you have anything?
That's
any
our Sunday
questions?
sit.
That's our Sunday sit. And we're going to be live on the first Sunday of the month, and then on the other Sundays, we'll be posting the meditation. Will be posted at noon. So it's always the Sunday sit at noon Pacific Standard Time, and it will be every Sunday. So the first Sunday of the month is live, and then the other Sundays are recorded and always posted at noon. And we're just, self-informed practice. If there's anything you'd like us to add in, if there's any comments or suggestions you have, do let us know. And of
Yeah,
course,
let
if
us
there's any questions, because this whole meditation gig is it gets kind of blown out as this thing that's very complicated, but it really is ultimately just sitting our asses down and allowing ourselves to be in the world without being of the world, right? Or of the world without being in the world, whichever way you want to say. But allowing that there's a world around us, and that there are times when we can sit, we can pause, and that can often be quite profound. It might, maybe not even in the moment, right? But along the way. And sometimes we get teeny tiny whispers from the soul that occur because of that, and they can be the most profound. We can't hear it. We can't hear it in the dim. It's a very, very small whisper. But when we create a little pocket of peace, and then it will also know when to come. It will also know that there's an outlet for it. We're creating an outlet for that whisper. So that's what we're doing. So anyway, that's us. That's the Sunday sit. Dun 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 dun.
Thanks for joining us.
Yes, definitely. Thanks for joining us, and we hope to see more of you. We are working on the next course that we have, the Way of the Labyrinth. We're super excited about that, and we will obviously let you know more as we go.
Absolutely.
Until then, if you're in the United States especially, do have a very safe 4th of July, and wherever you are, have a beautiful rest of your day. And thank you for taking the time for you. It's great that you joined us, but what's really important is that you make the time for you. That's important. So, you're really freaking awesome. Don't forget that. See you on the other side.